So in our previous class, we discussed Darwin's theory that according to his theory, evolution of human beings happened in what way? That earlier we were monkeys and later after evolution we became human beings. But this is not true. So we discussed this in our previous class. Moving forward, the soul may progress from lower forms to higher forms, but in the beginning of creation, all species were created by Sri Krishna, and there are different species. So, monkey is also a species, and human being is also a species, but they are different species. All species are different from each other. They have different consciousness and whatever the level of happiness every species experience, that is also different. Just like you will see a lion, his happiness is in consuming meat, but for a cow happiness is consuming grass, and for a pig happiness is consuming stool. So see, there is different consciousness of different species. So all species are different from each other, is it not? Our happiness is to consume prasadam, but in ignorance, due to lack of knowledge, people consume bhoga, unoffered food. Very amazing thing today Prabhuji was telling in morning class, that there is a devotee, he's still there. So earlier he used to consume vegetarian food. But once he got to know this, that even whoever is consuming vegetarian food, if he is not offering that vegetarian food, then he is also consuming sin. It is as equivalent as consuming whatever rubbish thing people consume. Of course, like eating meat and all, it is more bad thing than of eating vegan or vegetarian food. But still, if one, even he's a pure vegetarian, but he's not offering his food to Lord, he is consuming sins only. So later when that devotee, that Prabhuji got to know this thing, that oh, I have been consuming sins. So from next day only, he was very much strict at this. From next day only, he just told his wife that from today, whatever we will consume, before consuming, we will be offering to Lord, and then we will consume it. But now there was one problem, that we can't offer onion and garlic food which is made with onion and garlic, then it can't be offered to Lord. This is also a problem. So now his wife, she told that it will be difficult to make food without onion and garlic. So that devotee, that Prabhuji said, okay, I will be consuming only curd and chapati. You just give me curd and chapati, you just offer it to Lord, and then you serve me. I will be consuming only curd and chapati my whole life, no problem. But I will not be consuming anything which will not be offered to Lord. Isn't this amazing? So after 2-3 days only, his wife, that Mataji, she learned to make food without onion garlic also. And you will see, it's not that hard to make food without onion garlic. Onion and garlic is really not good for our consciousness also. Onion and garlic falls in the mode of ignorance, tamasic. There are other vegetables also like mushroom and other things. They are also not sattvic food. But Krishna, one can only offer sattvic food to Lord Krishna. And onion garlic is not sattvic. So this is very much important. One should know this thing. Okay. So yeah, thus is it clear that souls, all the species are different from other species. The soul may progress from lower forms to higher forms, but in the beginning of creation, all species were created by Sri Krishna, as indicated in Bhagavad Gita. So we'll try to recite these shlokas. Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshe punasthani kalpado vrisajamyaham prakritim swam prakritim swam vashtabhya vrisajami punah punah bhutagramam imam kritsnam avasham prakrite varshat. Once again we'll try. सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकां कल्पक्षे पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम् प्रकृतिं स्वाम् अवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्रामम् इमं कृत्स्नम् अवशं प्रकृतेर्वशात्. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, every material manifestation, just a second. Every material manifestation enters unto my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I again create. The whole cosmic order is under me. By my will is it manifested again and again, and by my will is it annihilated at the end. So, one more interesting thing today Prabhuji was telling, that you will see, if we talk about ordinary world only, if we talk about like very ordinary thing, whatever product we take, you will see on that product, it will be mentioned that it is made by this company or it is made in this country. It is always mentioned, is it not? All such informations is always mentioned on that product. And after buying that product, one feels very satisfied. Oh wow, we have taken a branded product. This product relates with that particular brand. So they feel very nice that we have bought branded product. Same thing you will see if we talk about here about Bhagavad Gita. You will see Krishna is mentioning everything in Bhagavad Gita, that this is coming from me, all the jivas are my fragmental part. So Krishna is also mentioning all the things. But anyone who is an atheist or who do not believe in scriptures, he will say, oh, this Krishna is speaking too much. He is announcing that he is Supreme Personality. I will not believe this. So it is his problem now. If anyone is buying any material thing, then he get convinced that yeah, this is of this brand, this is of this company has manufactured it. They immediately get convinced about that. But about scriptures, they think that this knowledge is not valid. I will not believe this. So it's their problem. It is because of, again, mode of ignorance, that they are not able to believe the knowledge of scriptures or the shlokas which Krishna is quoting here. So you will see Krishna in every shloka, Krishna is telling everything. So Krishna is telling the truth. It's not Krishna is, he's saying anything just for the sake of saying. No, he's telling reality. And you only tell me, if Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna was not mentioning these things. Krishna was not telling that I'm Supreme Personality, everything is coming from me, all the jivas, all the living entities, they are my fragmental part. So we might not get this knowledge from anywhere. Is it not? We might be misassuming things, that yeah, this is reality, oh no, that might be reality. We might be just assuming things, we might be assuming any false things. So whatever Krishna is telling here, it's not like Krishna has a proud or something, that's why he's telling all these things. Krishna is telling truth here, and anyone who is intelligent, who will accept this knowledge as it is, and he will follow everything in his life. So that is the sign of an intelligent man. So see what Krishna is telling in the shloka. Let's read this again. O son of Kunti, at the end of millennium, every material manifestation enters unto my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I again create. The whole cosmic order is under me. By my will is it manifested again and again, and by my will is it annihilated at the end. Means same thing which we discussed yesterday, that Krishna is the creator. All the planets you see, the material world, Krishna only created that. Why? For the living entities, because they want to enjoy material belongings. So, for living entities, Krishna created this material world by his will only. And he also annihilates this creation by his will. All of these living entities are subject to the threefold miseries, including those miseries pertaining to the body and mind. Now, you might be assuming, you might think, this question may come in mind, that okay, Krishna is so nice that Krishna made this universe, this material world for living entities. But then why Krishna is giving, but why then these sufferings also? Threefold miseries and all of these things. So that living entity may realize this thing, that oh, this material world is so poor. I'm suffering so much here. I don't want to suffer, but then also I have to suffer. So when one understand this thing, when he experienced that I'm really suffering very much, then only he will serve Lord. You only think now, this is practical thing. If there were no miseries in this material world, were we be serving Lord? We will not be serving Lord if there were no sufferings or miseries in this world. Is it not? So this material world is designed like this only, that there are miseries, there are sufferings, and jivas have to suffer all these sufferings and miseries. And if one thing that I don't, one desire that I don't want to suffer all these things, then he serve Krishna, he do his devotional services nicely, and he go back to Godhead. So again, all the miseries are also for our benefit only, so that we may understand this, that this world is full of miseries, and after understanding this, we serve Lord. So here is a very nice logic. Not logic, it's truth only. That's why miseries are here. Animals cannot understand that they are suffering, but human beings can. Although they also suffer, it's not like that sufferings are only for human beings and not for other beings or animals. They also suffer, but they don't understand that we are suffering. And that's why you will see even human beings also, only rare souls are there who understand this thing, that yeah, we are suffering. Is it not? If I talk about myself, I was not, means, of course, sufferings were there, but I was not realizing this, that I'm suffering so much. I was just assuming that, yeah, it is a part of life, what to do. Because we hear like this only. Whoever, whoever are there, our relatives, friends, we always hear such things only from them. That, yeah, this is the part of life and pains are always there, etc., etc. We always hear these things only from them. So that's why we also understand, we also accepted that, yeah, these sufferings are part of life. What to do? Everyone have to die. All the people, all the living beings, they have to die. What to do? Although no one dies, but then also people think like this. So this is because of lack of knowledge. So, are you understanding this point? That animals cannot understand that they are suffering, but human beings can, because they have elevated consciousness to understand these things. Isn't this just amazing? But then also, you will see around you that people are wasting their time and energy in doing lots of material things, which is for just a specific, which is there for a specific period of time. Material things will not be there for always. Whatever money you are earning, whatever things you are collecting for you, it's not like it will be there for you for always. Even our this body is not, will not be there with us for always. What to say of other things? So an intelligent man who is really intelligent, instead of spending his energy and time in all these material things, he will utilize full potential of his human life for self realization, for understanding his relationship with God, and for serving Lord. So this is very important. So I can remember one thing from this. There was a Mataji. I sent her a photograph of Govardhan Maharaj. So she was not offering food to Govardhan Maharaj. So I asked her, why are you not offering food to Lord? This is not good. You should offer. You have also heard glories of consuming prasadam, Krishna prasadam. Then also, why are you not offering? So she was saying, yes, I was in doubt. I had some questions. So that's why I was not offering. You will see, it's been more than 6 months now since I sent her that photograph. And then also, she had so many doubts, but instead of asking those doubts, she was just, you know, she was just puzzled. So I just told her this thing only, that beta, you will only be able to clarify your doubts in this human life only. And this is true. Animals cannot understand anything, but human beings can. So, whatever doubts you have, whatever, you know, anything, research or whatever you want to do, you can only do it in human life only. Research means not research on scriptures, whether the knowledge of scriptures is right or wrong. Research means if you have any doubt, so you can Just ask. Or research means you can search your doubts in scriptures. That's what research mean here. So you can only do it in human life. And you will see the time is going, it is just passing with a great speed. We have limited time. So instead of spending our time in unnecessary things or in just, thinking whether I should clarify this doubt or not, you should just go. Go means you should just give your best. You should just utilize this time as nicely as you can, because you can only do this in this life only. This is very important. One who does not know that he is suffering is in animal consciousness. So even after getting birth in human life, he is not understanding that I am suffering. First of all, this is also problem that people don't realize that they are suffering. Even if you will try to preach them, if you will try to tell them that you are suffering, you are this, so they'll, yeah, we are suffering, it's okay, this is part of life and we are okay with this, we don't want to think beyond things. So this is animal consciousness. Because you see now, animals are also like this, they are also suffering and they don't have to do anything with their sufferings. They are also like, yeah, okay, if someone is kicking me, it's okay, I'm okay with that. If someone is, whatever sufferings are coming to them, they can't think that why am I suffering. So even a human being is also not thinking that why is he suffering, then it is that then he is in animal consciousness. Animals may be standing behind a fence to be slaughtered, but they do not understand this. So you might have heard this example, that suppose a goat is standing and she's chewing grass, and next to her you will see another goat, not you, that goat who is chewing grass. She will see next to her there is another goat who is being slaughtered by a man. So even she is looking at that god, then also she's just happy chewing her grass. And she can't understand that next turn will be of her. See how low consciousness animals have. But if we talk about human beings, even a small baby, a small child, he will also frighten that, oh, if any bad scene is happening in front of him, if someone is shouting or whatever bad thing he's doing, even that baby will be frightened that, oh, what is this happening. So see the difference between consciousness of human beings and animals, a big jump. As human beings, we should be cognizant that we are suffering the pains of birth, old age, disease, and death, and should be inquisitive to know how to avoid these miseries. Because we can only do this in this life only, means in human life only. We have been suffering from the beginning of our birth, when as a baby we were tightly placed for 9 months in the womb of a mother. So do you know this, what is the condition of a baby in the womb of a mother? He is placed tightly for 9 months in the womb of a mother, and that to be uh, in opposite direction. Opposite means, if you can see this mic, so if I turn this like this, so this is our condition in the womb of mother. We are placed like this, and that to be for 9 months. and no movement. You will have to be tight, means if you will place something, any food item in a box tightly, you will pack it. So there is no scope of moving it also. If you will shake that box, any dabba, if you will shake it, then that food will not move because you have tightly packed it. So same condition is the baby, is the same condition is of that baby. He is tightly placed in the womb, means no movement also. And our welcomed also happened like this also. If I'm saying baby, it's not like any other baby. We also took birth from the womb only, is it not? So this, we were in this condition. After birth, suffering continues. Although a mother may take much care for her child, the baby still cries. Why? Because he is suffering. You will see, this is practical. People often say happy birthday. But birthdays are not really happy. You think now, if birthdays were really happy, then why, when a child take birth, why he cries? Have you ever thought about this? Why do they cry? If birthdays are happy, so that child, that baby might be smiling. Oh wow, it's my happy birthday, happy birthday. But he cries when he take birth, when he takes birth. Why? Because he is suffering. Either a bug is biting, or there is a pain in the stomach, or some other melody. So you will see, even after taking birth, the child, he always cries. But even that mother, although a mother may take care, may take much care of that baby, but then also she don't understand that why that baby is crying. Whether she will give her some medicine, she might assume that that the stomach of that baby might be paining, so let me just feed her medicine. But in reality, he might be hungry, that's why he is crying. But that mother feeds her medicine. On the other hand, if that baby is crying due to the pain in stomach, so instead of giving her that baby medicine, her mother feeds her more milk. And because of that reason, the pain of that baby increases even more. So see the helplessness of that baby and helplessness of mother at that time, that she can't understand the language of that baby, that what he really want to convey. And that baby is also helpless. He can't say anything, he can't speak. And we were all in that phase. Once upon a time, there was this time. Whatever the case, the suffering goes on. The child also suffers when he is forced to go to school when he does not want to. I can totally relate with this. Now I feel very relief that, yeah, finally those boring school days are over. It was really a misery, isn't it? Going to school, you will see small children, they always cry when they are forced to go to school. They always cry because it's a suffering for them. But they will have to go. They have to go due to their parents. The child does not want to study, but the teacher gives him tasks anyway. If we carefully analyze our lives, we will find that they are full of suffering. Generally speaking, conditioned souls are not very intelligent, and therefore they go on suffering without ever inquiring why. And that's why we have been here in this material world from eternal time. Why? Because we are not very intelligent. So, can you just see this? In today's class, only Prabhuji was telling this, that after so many births, after so much suffering, one gets this opportunity to serve Lord Krishna. So we have suffered already too much. In today's class, in Hindi class, when we were discussing one thing that Shivji tells in Srimad Bhagavatam, that Vaishnava devotees of Lord, they go back to Godhead in this lifetime only. No other births. So I was feeling so much nice that time. Wow, I will go back in this lifetime only to Krishna. And this is reality. And next moment I was thinking, yes, if I will be serving Lord very nicely, it's not like I'm just laying on bed and whatever things we do. We should be very much sincere in our devotional services. Then we will definitely go back to Godhead, because God also wants us to, He also wants us to take us back to Him. And that's why we are on this path right now. So this is very important. We should understand, however, that the suffering is there, and there is a remedy. We must take advantage of it. We should take full advantage. You see, now, just think about this. People are roaming aimlessly here and there. They are just wandering because they are not aware about this path. But people who are on this path, they should just take full advantage of this, because only rare souls get this opportunity. So we should take full advantage of this opportunity. We should not waste even a single moment in any materialistic thing, because that is a big loss. That is really a big loss. We already have limited time. So this is very important. The great sage 𝗲𝗵𝗵 instructed his sons in this way: My dear boys, in this life you have acquired these beautiful bodies. Now you should know that they are not meant for sense gratification, like the bodies of hogs and dogs, but for spiritual realization. And this is true. See, one should understand that when Krishna gave instructions to Arjuna, then that instructions are actually for us, for human beings. When 𝗲𝗵𝗵 is instructing his sons, so that instruction is for us also. Means not also that is for us only. These are just the, what to say, roles which Lord have played. They have made mediums to Arjuna, to other Vishnu Tattva. Krishna has made them medium so that we may get lessons from them. So when it is said that these bodies, they are not meant for sense gratification like the bodies of hogs and dogs, but for spiritual realization. Essentially, what 𝗲𝗵𝗵 is saying is that a life of sense gratification is meant for stool eaters like hogs. And now that we have a higher form of life, we should not try to imitate the lower forms. Suppose if you get the job of of an engineer, Sumit Prabhuji, if you get a job of engineer and whatever your boss gives you the salary of a watchman, will you be satisfied? Why? I am an engineer. Why will I be why will I be satisfied with the salary of a watchman? So same way, if we are blessed, if we have been given this higher form of life, human life, then we should not get satisfied what lower forms are getting. Sleeping, eating, mating, and defending. These four things, even lower forms do. They also, these things are easily available to them also. So we should not imitate them. Imitate means we should not try to progress in four things. That means we are competing animals, which is not intelligence. So if we have given higher form of life, we should not be satisfied with the things which are easily available to the lower forms. That will be a foolishness. Just mark this line. Just put this line on your, like you can hang it. You can write it on a paper and you can hang it anywhere in your room. That sense gratification, a life of sense gratification is meant for stool eaters like hogs. Hogs means pigs. Higher form of life is meant for spiritual realization. This is really heavy line, but this is reality. Recently, we were surprised to see, this is very amazing and very surprising, actually shocking. Just listen very carefully. Recently, we were surprised to see while walking in Central Park in New York City that a group of young American boys and girls were engaged in worshipping hogs. Can you just believe this? Worshipping hogs, worshipping pigs, the stool eaters. This is reality. While we were chanting Hare Krishna, these groups of youngsters were chanting hog, hog, hog. They were actually parading with hogs in Central Park and bowing down before them. Is this the only purpose of human life? You see, it is really a big loss. We even are not aware about this thing that after how many births we got this human life. And even after getting this human life, one is busy doing such foolish things. So, worshipping hogs, and they are chanting hog, hog, hog. They are worshipping. They are all of the things. They are paying obeisances to hogs. Even a man or girl or Mataji, whatever, even a Mataji who is living in a village, she will also not bow down to a hog. An illiterate girl or whatever woman, she will also not do such things. But see who is doing all these things in New York City, the so called developed countries. People are doing like this. This is very shocking. So they were actually parading with hogs in Central Park and bowing down before them and worshipping them. This is really like next to impossible thing. But people are doing this. They actually wanted one hog to become president and they wanted the hogs to lead them. This has gone to such lengths that at one be in Seattle, there was a demonstration with hogs in which the boys and girls undressed themselves and got in the mud and played with the hogs. And in this way, they were associating with the hogs and pigs which they worship. Even a small child, he also play in mud. You will see children often do this. They play in mud, but they don't play with hogs or dogs. But see, people in these so much developed countries, they are playing in mud with hogs. This is quite embarrassing. And pigs which they worshipped. All this is going on in a country where the young people have good looking bodies, a great deal of money, and so many other advantages over the young people of other nations. So, are you able to follow this thing? That the more people have good looking bodies, more they have money and other good comforts, they are actually more engrossed in material things. This is reality. They are more engrossed in material things, materialistic things. And their consciousness, there is no difference between their consciousness and that of a consciousness of animals. Even you will see any man who drinks alcohol, I can't imagine seeing him also doing such things. This is quite embarrassing that people are doing like this. The result of gaining all these advantages is that they have simply taken to hog worship. Such hog worship was anticipated long ago and was described in 𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗺𝗺, which was compiled at least 5,000 years ago. Means it was anticipated that a time will come when people do such rubbish things also. The point is that a beautiful situation in life should be utilized for a beautiful end. Wow, what a line. Beautiful end is after leaving this body, you go back to Godhead and not coming in this material world again. Not for degraded forms of worship. The point is that a beautiful situation in life, beautiful situation is you are serving Lord, you are doing your devotional services, should be utilized for a beautiful end. All right, there is one more page left. Let's just complete this chapter today only. It will not take much time, hopefully. Let's see. In the Vedic histories, oh, hmm. In the Vedic histories, we find that there were many exalted emperors and kings who practiced austerities and penances. Dhruv Maharaj, Amrish Maharaj, and Yudhishthir Maharaj were all great kings and were most opulent. But at the same time, they were great sages. Why? Because they were devotees of Lord. So even one is most opulent, if he's serving Lord, then he is more attached with Lord instead of all those opulences. So there is a great difference. But if someone has great opulences, all the comforts, and he is not the devotee of Lord, then he will get entangled in all those things only. Thus, they set the example of those who have acquired this good opportunity for a beautiful human form of life with all the facilities for economic development and good living. This opportunity should be used to attain an even better life, and this can be actualized by practice of penance. At present, we are existing in these material bodies. But if we take to the process of Krishna consciousness, our consciousness will be purified. One more thing Srila Prabhupada ji was telling, I can remember from this point, that Krishna can make you also the king of this whole planet or whatever. But what will you do? You will sleep. You will not be able to do anything. You will sleep. So these are the qualities of conditioned souls. What can be done? So yes, it is very much important that at present we are existing in these material bodies. But if we take to the process of Krishna consciousness, our consciousness will be purified. See, you will yourself observe that you were doing so many things earlier, which you were assuming that those things are very important for me. I can't live without those things. Or you might be assuming that those things are very tasty. Tasty means taste is there. Some taste is there, and I'm enjoying it. But now you will see, as you are following this process of Krishna consciousness, you are doing your devotional services nicely. As your consciousness is getting purified, you will realize that the things which you were assuming, which you were assuming that those were very important for me, now those things makes no value for you. I was realizing this thing today, that earlier I was assuming that food of hotel restaurant is very nice, it's very lavish. But now I can't even assume consuming those items which is not offered to Lord. So Srila Prabhupada ji says this, that you just see how are you thinking. You just see. And you will observe whatever you will observe that your perception has totally changed. You are not the same person as you were before. So this is very amazing thing. Very amazing realization. Although American and European, the young students who are voluntarily practicing Krishna consciousness are very pleased to practice it. Yes, it's not like we are forced to follow this process of Krishna consciousness. Same thing today Prabhuji was explaining, that you will see whatever chanting you are doing, the Shravan you are doing, hearing you are doing, it's not like you are forcing yourself to do all these things, isn't it? You will see devotees are even chanting extra rounds, more than 16 rounds. So it's not like we are forcing ourselves. And you will realize that whatever chanting, hearing you are doing, you are not expecting anything in return. In 𝗃ष्टाष्टकम्, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 𝗃ष्टाष्टकम्, there is a line, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. So you will realize you are not expecting money, followers, or any beautiful lady in return. Is it not? So this is really amazing, that whatever you are doing, it is actually pleasing to you. We are pleased to practice it. The process is not troublesome, but pleasing. Now they are realizing that purified existence constitutes the difference between animal life and human life. If we purify our existence simply by following the basic regulations of Krishna consciousness, which involve abstaining from illicit sexual connection, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling, we are gradually rise to attain our spiritual existence, which is completely pure. And you will see these four regulative principles not only make you strong physically, but it makes you strong mentally also. So, this thought was coming in my mind that whenever you doubt something, so for clarifying your doubt, you just follow it, you just experiment it. So, if you are doubting, oh, really, these four things will make me strong, not only physically, but mentally also. So, let me just experience it. I will try to follow this and I'll see if it really works. So, if even you are doubting, you just experiment and you will get to know automatically whether it really works or not. And amazing thing is that if you are chanting sincerely, regularly, then these four regulative principles will be followed automatically. You will not have to push yourself. Everything will happen automatically. This is the potency of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The sage 𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗺 told his sons that once they purified their existence, they would have unlimited happiness. Unlimited means which is not limited. And who does not want that? Let me give one amazing example for this. You will see people often prepare for government exam. Why? Because they are aware about this thing that government job is for always. Always means that it is for long term because it is government job. So even at material level, people want to choose those things which gives long term benefits. So here 𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗺 is telling, he told his sons that once they purified their existence, they would have unlimited happiness. And happiness, whatever anyone is doing, he's doing it for the sake of getting happiness in return. So what else one need? Happiness, and you will get unlimited happiness just by following these simple things. We are all intended to attain peace and happiness, but whatever peace and happiness we find in this material world is limited. If we but purify our existence and attain spiritual existence, we will experience unlimited peace and happiness. And for experiencing this, one should give it a try. One should experiment by following these things which have been told. The spiritual world is not dry or abstract. As pointed out before, there is okay, I'm just reading it, and if there will be more points, we will discuss in our next class. The spiritual world is not dry or abstract. As pointed out before, there is veridicness there. A part of the spiritual pleasure experience in the Vaikunthas is the pleasure of dancing. There are also young girls and young boys there. Indeed, there is no such as old age or disease or death or pains of birth. Means these four things never happens in spiritual world. You will always be in young body, transcendental body. You will never get old. You see, now people do lots of rubbish things because they want to look young. Even people follow particular diet plan so that they may look young. So if you really want to look young for always, why don't you go back to Godhead and you just stay young for always there? One should be intelligent enough to understand these things. If we want to participate in the unlimited happiness, knowledge, and eternal life, which constitute our actual heritage in the spiritual world, we should not waste this life by working hard for sense gratification and worshipping hogs. Because we have been doing all these sense gratification and stuff in our previous life already. So let's just close this chapter in this life and let's just go back to Godhead. We should accept a life devoted to the cultivation of Krishna consciousness, and then we will get unlimited happiness and unlimited pleasure. This is the sum and substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. So there are just three things which one have to follow. You just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 16 rounds. You just hear scriptures daily and you consume Krishna Prasad. These three things are all potent to purify you. And these four regulative principles, these will be followed automatically if you will follow these three things. And there is no any troublesome in following these three things. These are very easy. So let's just utilize this advantage of human life and do everything nicely. And let's just go back to Godhead in this lifetime only. So our first chapter of the book, Elevation to Krishna Consciousness, completes here. We will discuss our next chapter. We'll start with our next chapter in our next class. We'll stop here now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanande, Hari Bol.